Okay, the Widnes Vikings is to enter administration. That comes with a 12-point deduction. This is to do with partly the ongoing financial issues with Widnes. We know there's been money problems with Widnes for quite some time, but also the failed takeover bid on Tuesday. It could have saved the club. The club hasn't gone out of business, but the game this Sunday against Sheffield has been called off until further notice. It could yet be put back on, but at the moment the Sheffield Eagles have agreed, while Widnes are in this position, that Widnes needs to find a solution to their problems. Both clubs have agreed not to play the game. The RFL have come in and released some centralised funding a month early, so they've double paid them the centralised funding monthly payments, so they can pay the staff and the players because they were going unpaid. And at the Championship level, wages are low. I mean, they are professional athletes, they are professional rugby league players, but the money is nowhere near as high as the Super League, and even the Super League, rugby league players aren't paid as much as people think. Just because it's been professional longer than rugby union doesn't mean the wages are massive on average. So this is raising questions about finances in the game as a whole. Not just Widnes, it's the sport as a whole and the league as a whole, the league structure. We know the RFL is losing money. We know they try to force Catalan, Toulouse and Toronto to pay a £500,000 entrance fee to join the Challenge Cup this year, and two teams, Toronto and Toulouse, flat out refused to pay the money, and fair play to them. Why should the non-English sides be forced to pay money when the English sides don't? So that raises questions about the governance of the game. The RFL were fully aware of the issues that Widnes were facing a long time ago. They could have been more proactive and got involved sooner, in my book. I'm seeing parallels with the Bradford Bulls fiasco here, and how badly the RFL dealt with that situation 7-8 years ago, whenever it was, when the Bradford Bulls collapsed. This cannot be allowed to happen again. I feel sorry for the Widnes fans. I feel sorry for the Widnes players and staff who've been going unpaid for a long period of time. They've got bills and mortgages and kids to feed and families to look after. And rugby league players are not paid as much as a lot of people think. Just because they've been a professional sport for donkey's years, they're not paid as much as people realise, even at Super League level. So questions are being raised about the finances of the sport. The TV deal has been questioned. Is that viable? Is the money distribution fair and equal? And it's in the RFL's vested interest to keep Widnes going as a club. Now, the 12-point deduction is the 12-point deduction. There's nothing Widnes can really do about that. It's in the rules of the game. If you enter administration, you're hit with a points deduction. I think it's wrong, but that's the rules as it currently stands. So this could unite the playing base to go, we're going to win every game. Sod it, we're gonna go out there and go for it. This is going to unite us and be a driving force. But if Widnes can't replicate any form, get going, that could be basically a tantamount to relegating them to League One, which would be more financially devastating than they currently are in the position. So the RFL needs to think very, very carefully about how they deal with Widnes, because it's not the playing group's fault, and it's not the coaching staff, and it's not the front of house staff who it's not the ticket staff, it's not the club shop staff. It's not their fault. Yes, there's been clearly some mismanagement and there's some financial issues from the ownership level, but the day-to-day club staff, it's not their fault. It's not the fault of the players that the club is in this position financially. Okay, maybe on the pitch last season because they got relegated, but in reality, it's not their fault. The players who were signed in the off-season, it's not their fault. So, and it's not the fans' fault either. The fans are exceptionally loyal at Widnes. They're always in good voice when I've seen them on the TV, when I've been able to catch a rugby league game which involves Widnes in the Challenge Cup. They've always been in good voice, always positive. They've got a great little stadium, the Eddie Stobart Stadium, great little stadium. They've spent a lot of investment in that stadium to improve the playing surface, the grandstands. They've really put a lot of investment there. It's a great little stadium, but that is an expensive overlay to have, is paying for a stadium and a new pitch. But honestly, the RFL could do more. And it's in their vested interest to keep this club going, because if Widnes do go out of business, they'll have a knock-on impact for every other Championship club, because they lose 2 games off their fixture list, which means 2 less games of revenue. So even if it's a small amount of revenue, that will still have a knock-on effect. For clubs in the Championship, and in the Challenge Cup as well, because Widnes have obviously been allowed to enter the Challenge Cup this season. It will have a knock-on effect if they were not to be able to fulfil a Challenge Cup fixture. That opposition team loses that money as well. They don't get the gate receipts. So it is in the RFL's interest to keep Widnes going and to find a positive, proactive solution. But there we go. Widnes are in administration as of midnight. So I'll be interested to hear from Widnes Vikings fans. I've never done a video on Widnes, but I'll be interested to hear from the Vikings fans themselves. Really interested, because obviously they will know more about the financial situation that is. I'm just reporting what's known is they're out of money. The takeover bid's failed, and they're being hit with a 12-point deduction, which I think is wrong. But it's in the rule book, and I think that rule book needs to be rewritten. I think when it comes to clubs going to administration, I think there needs to be more proactive support rather than extra punishment, because the extra punishment normally is more harmful long term. But we'll see what happens. For now, the club is alive. They've received their centralised funding, which has kept the players going, but they're not playing this weekend, so that we shall see when they do rearrange that fixture, if they can complete their fixture list. But it'll be interesting to see what Vikings fans have to say, and how they got in this position. But the financial issues were known for quite some time by the RFL, and it's only now that they're helping Widnes out financially. So the RFL has a lot of questions to answer. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more positive videos, I hope, for you soon.